Yep. I don't know what happened before, but hopefully this signal will stay up. But it's Saturday. It's a beautiful day outside. It's ice. It's 19 degrees. Hopefully everybody is home snug. As for me, I am down at the school. I have to preach in the prison tomorrow. I have to be there at 7 o'clock. I'm going to Jessup. It's a minimum release. The same effort that I put into a sermon for a church or wherever is the same effort that I put into the men that are incarcerated. Why? Because we're all the same. It's just that some of us didn't get away with some things. So, I don't take it lightly. I don't take the opportunity to pour into somebody's life lightly. That's what I've called to do. That's what I've been doing years and years and years and years. Even before I got a license to preach. That's just always been my endeavor. But remember, y'all, we're no longer talking about what's up, Nikki? We're no longer talking about relationships anymore. I think I've covered almost every aspect. Even though I love to talk about relationships, that is my niche. That's my vocation. But I want to transition to something else, and that's success. Success. And this is for like entrepreneurs and people who have dreams and visions of one day opening up perhaps their own salon or their own daycare or being corporate, opening up your own girls mentor group or whatever. I want to talk about that. So let's go right in. And if you haven't had an opportunity to look at the video that I did before, please look at it. It was yesterday. So I wanted to look at a different aspect of it in terms of the success. Many of you know me, I've always, hustled and grind and things of that nature. Always had a couple of different businesses, so on and so forth. I failed a lot, and I want to speak from the perspective of my failures, and hopefully you'll learn from my failures. So what happened? Let's get right into it. Oftentimes, what happens is that people are driven to open their own businesses and things of that nature because it looks good and it makes them feel good. It makes them feel entitled. It makes them feel responsible. It makes them feel a cut above the rest. But what happens is that they take that feeling and they run with it, not really looking at the consequences. And if you're ever going to be successful, you have to be a risk taker, but you have to be a smart risk taker. You just can't jump out there and think that, I'm going to make this money, I'm going to do this, because I've done it. I can't tell you, I've sold everything. I've literally tried every avenue from a business perspective, had contracts, things of that nature, everything, a whole bunch. I had several different business cards, all of that. And I failed at probably 80% of the businesses that I started. I probably failed about 80% of them. As I told you before on my last video, I probably lost about 150,000. Easy lost about 150,000. Why? Because every business that I started or every venture that I took upon, I did it from an emotional perspective. I never forget. I had this one business. This was in the mall actually, and I was trying to rob Peter to pay Paul. So I was operating without a license at a particular time, right? And so the state came around checking licenses. Now listen to this. The state came around checking licenses, and I had to close down. And in the mall, they charge you $50 for every 15 minutes that you're closed. And so when I came back, I had this hefty bill. Why? Because my ducks wasn't in order, right? But that's just a piece of it. And I'm saying to you that if you're ever going to venture out and into any kind of success, you have to plan. I can't tell you, planning is one of the most critical. And first of all, you have to make sure that you're not acting on your emotions, but you're acting on your spirit and you're acting on your thought process. Because your emotions are transitory, right? So what does that mean, Cook? Your emotions are transitory. That means that you could feel good about it at this particular juncture. And then once you get in it, you feel bad. You follow me? You can feel good. You can feel like this is the thing. But once you get in it, you suffer. I never, for 8 years straight, I never took a day off. I worked 7 days a week. From 9 in the morning or 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. 7 days straight. Every day. Catching the bus or driving up to New York every single week faithfully. You just can't imagine. I didn't think it out. I had another business. I remember, I had another business. This was over there by Patastico. Never worked. Yeah, I had a job, right? I had a job, and I was still selling bootleg CDs. People saw me up on Emerson Avenue and Swan, things of that nature. Always trying to become something. But everything I did was based off of emotions. I was always hungry for money, always wanted. And let me just say this to you. You know, John Rockefeller said something one time. He said, if you're chasing money, you'll never get it. You'll never win chasing money. And the question that I have to ask you is that what do you want to do with yourself? You know, Warren Buffett said we always, in order to succeed, you always have to have two types of income. So you have your job, but what else do you want to do? How do you bring that income in? Whatever it is, it can't be emotionally driven. Are you hearing me? You have to check your emotions. You have to take how you feel about it out. Because if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Check your feelings. Is this fulfilling? Is this thing, can I see myself doing it for the long haul? It's not, I can't be, you know how they have these pyramids and all of that stuff. You can't look at that because all of the pyramids are just merely set up. People will get, the people that get you in the business will leave you in the business. Let me say it again. The people in the pyramids are, you know how when you bring one person in, you bring one person in and you have to bring 3 people in, and then those 3 people have to bring 3 people in, and you get stuck. And you've put up this one, you put up $495 and you get stuck. I've been there. You can't, and they get you, what they do is that they get you to these meetings, right? They have one person that come in here, one person that stands in the front. Oh yeah, I'm making $1 million. While nobody else is making $1 million. Why? Because it's emotionally driven. Take your emotions out of it. In order to succeed, you have to think your way through. Think of a product that number one, that's integrity laced. It has to be based upon integrity. You can't play games with people. So it has to be integrity laced. If after you think on it, right, you have to think, are you capable of making it work? Because a lot of things we venture into, we're not capable of making it work. And then, can you handle the loss? Meaning that, can you recover from a depressionary period or a saddening period if you lose? A plan B. That's what. I remember, I don't know if you guys are familiar, and I'm going to close with this, right? A couple years ago, this is what really took me on to one of the things that I did. I remember I don't know if you guys know Bike Week. Bike Week is down in South Carolina, right? So everybody goes down Bike Week the last week in May. All of the bikers and so on and so forth, right? So what I did is that I put some kind of plan together. It was I had some people operating, I had the businesses in Mondawmin at the time. So I had people working there, right? Went up to New York, got all of this stuff. I looked at the diagram of exactly what happens in Bike Week, right? It's 500,000 people. That's what the diagram says. 500,000 people. Everybody that in that specific area, they own the property. So you have to rent whoever owns. It's pieces of property down there, right? All in one section, but they're sectioned off, and everybody owns a piece of that property, right? Listen to this. Everybody, so you got to rent there. I had to pay $2,500 for the license, right? I paid $2,500 for the license. I spent about $20,000 buying all of this stuff because I said to myself, it's 500,000 people. All I need for real, is about 1,000, 2,000 people to buy something. So the mathematics made sense to me, right? So I buy all of this stuff, everything. And I called down there because I had to get in contact with the owners of the property. It's very long. So I this one guy, Mr. Skeeter, he said he'll rent it to me for X amount of dollars, right? I said, okay, well, let me try somebody else. So I talked to the mayor of, so it's only, if you ever look at it, it's only probably 1,000 people, right, in that particular area that live there, that's a part of the community. So I talked to the mayor. She runs the whole Bike Week that in that area and so on and so forth, right? So I talked to her. She said, look, I run this down here. And I'm going to give it to you for a cheap price. I'm going to let you rent my property for a cheap price. I said, cool, I'm good. She said, I'm going to position you so everybody has to go through the traffic. I said, oh, okay, good. Matter of fact, I'm going to post this picture. I said, okay, good. I'm good. What the young people say, I'm Gucci. I invested. I put all my ducks in this one basket. Right? I rented a truck, went down there. Got a hotel room. Guess how much they charged me for a Motel 6? They charged me $275 a night for a Motel 6, right? So I'm running low. I put all my money into this. Got some tables, so on and so forth. I get down there, right? She was the outgoing mayor. The governor of South Carolina forced her to resign. Why? Because she had gotten locked up 4 times. She was the outgoing mayor, and so what happened was they sectioned me off so that no traffic could come my way. I'm the only one there by the little ocean or whatever. I'm the only one there, and I'm sectioned off. Listen to this. I put $20,000 into this thing. Plus, it's 500,000 people. The license cost me $2,500. The hotel room cost me $275. And I took somebody down there. I got to pay this person. I took somebody down there to help me. I got to pay them. Now I get down there. I'm thinking everything is gully. The lady. She's the mayor. I think I'm good. I just can't go wrong. This is going to work for me. God knows it's going to work for me. I'm emotionally driven. Listen to this. You want to know what got me caught up? When I initially prayed about it. Listen to this. I never forget this. Good God Almighty. When I initially prayed about it, God said no. He said no. And I had to jump through hoops to get the license, to get the property, and I lost out. Ask me how much I made. I spent $20,000. I made $1,247 back. Let me give it to you again. I spent $20,000 on all of this jewelry, all of this stuff. I made $1,247 because the salt from the mist from the ocean that was down there turned all of the jewelry. It's crazy. Probably one of the most disgusting things I've ever done in my life. But I prayed on it. And God says no. And I still went forward. And I say, that's the devil talking. That ain't God talking. Because this is too good to be true. If you're going to be successful and you want it to be done the right way, you want to open up your own business, you have to pray and be obedient if the word no comes back. Did you hear me? You have to be obedient. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good it looks. I looked at it and it was 500,000 people. Listen to this. How could I go wrong with 500,000 people? It's just virtually impossible for me to go wrong with 500,000. But I failed. In that one instance, it took me probably about 2 years to recover. Had I listened to what God said, I would have still had that money. But as a result, I lost everything. If you're going to be successful, remember, this is our first segment, and then we'll continue on. If you're going to be successful, you have to pray. That's right. You have to remove your feelings, because it could look good, but it's not. You have to be willing to make it work. Are you capable of operating your own business? Do you have the tenacity? Do you have the gum? I got into a fight in the mall. You hear me? I had to go down to the police. The police came. The guy tried to rob me in the mall. And we was fighting. You hear me? And then when the police came, because his face was a little messed up or whatever, the police came, he turned that thing on me and said, I assaulted him. Are you ready for that? His boy in the back of me with a knife. And I asked him, I said, man, I don't want no trouble, blah, 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 blah. And then he was disrespecting me, and now he was doing all of this, and I let him do all that. But then he went overboard, and that's when I had to react. And as a result, his face a little messed up. Police came. I'm down at Western District. My whole life flashing before me. The gang members came. They surrounded the mall at every entrance, waiting for me to come out. They had to take me through the tunnel. Are you ready to do what it takes to be successful? Are you capable of handling whatever comes your way? 8 years straight, I worked from open to close. Even when I wasn't there, I was still there. 23 employees, all of them stole from me. My family, all of them stole from me, but my mother stole. I'm upstairs and looking down at my employees, stealing from me, putting the money. But I was working on getting my degree. What's up? Hey, Denise. I was working on getting my degree. And I had to let them steal from me. Are you willing? Are you capable enough to handle that? In order to be successful, in order to be the business owner, you got to make it work. My friend Deneen, she does hair, right? Got her own shop, all of that, getting money and all of that. Some of you want to open up your own shop. Are you willing to stand there and be willing to cancel appointments or be able to take people canceling appointments when they call and say they're scheduled to have their hair done? You need that money, but they're calling to cancel. Do you have what it takes? My self-esteem went down chasing money. Always chased money my whole life. Always chased money. Everybody knows that. Always. But when I opened up all these businesses, took my self-esteem down. You have to take your emotions out of, because they are transitory. So if you're chasing cars, if you're chasing cars, if you're chasing money, whatever, if you have the cars, then your emotions or your self-esteem is raised. Why? Because that's your point of reference. That's what makes you feel good. But when you're doing bad and that's taken away from you, then guess what else happens? Your self-esteem goes down. You feel dirty. You feel cruddy. In order to be successful, baby, you got to put that work in. I can't tell you no other way. You got to put that work in. I'm trying to tell you. You hear me? My employees was late. And every time that they was late, mall fine you $100. I got a bill and they attach it to your rent for the month. You ready for that? Somebody, you got a credit card machine. I remember one time the dude came in there. I was feeling all good at this place, and he swiped my credit card. He swiped this credit card, $400, and it was all fake. And when you swipe a credit card, right? Listen to this. When you swipe a credit card, you get that money right there. But when they come back, they got, I think it's 90 days to return it. And guess what happens? The credit card provider takes that money from you. And I saw him after he knew he did it. I saw him. Pinned him up, and I shouldn't be sharing this information, please forgive me. Got him outside. Pinned him up against the wall. Where my bread at? And God said, no. Stop. Your emotion. I lied. Swear to God, I had him against the wall. Where my money at? You'll start laughing. I let him go. $430. I ain't got no money. They took it out my account. Now I'm in the rear. Because they took it out of this account, the Bank of America. You know, they treacherous. $35 a hit. And they keep banging you in your head. $35. So much so that I had to let them close the account. Took another L. You got to be ready. So we're going to start this series, and hopefully it'll bless somebody. And this is only for those that endeavor to have another income. Endeavor to be successful. Endeavor. I'm gonna tell you all about my man Ak. I'm gonna ping him because one time he was selling some CDs for me. Right? Let me close this one. I was selling bootleg CDs. This is crazy, right? So I was going to New York and I was getting these bootleg CDs. I'm doing 4,000 a hit. Keep in mind that I'm paying like 90 cents for the bootleg CDs, right? And I'm selling them for $5, right? So what happened was I was the guy, my buddy Ak. Hopefully he's watching. I would give him. Hey Shay, I would give Ak, right? Ak, probably like a couple hundred CDs or whatever, right? And he tried to undercut me. You know what he did? I would get everything before it came out, right? So like the 50 Cent Beyonce, I would get everything before it came out, had it shipped and everything, right? And so I said, yo, how many you need? Thinking he was going to say, I need like 500 CDs. I was like, you know what I mean? So he was like, he didn't say that this time. I had a new 50. I think it was Get Rich or Die Trying. Had the new Beyonce, all that. I had it before it came out. I had the DVDs, all that. I mean, the movies, all that, right? He said, no, I just want the masters. Just give me one. I said, one? I bought 500 for you. He said, no, just give me one. I said, one? He said, yeah, because I brought my own burner. That's before burners was really popular. He said, I bought my own burner. And I'm going to go ahead and start burning my own. I said, nah. I said, you're going to give me $30. Right? Are you willing to somebody to undercut you? You have enough emotional balance. So when they come and undercut you. And so what happened was I was selling 3 for $5, but I had to connect, right? So I was selling $5 a piece. I went 3 to 5. I probably started with these jokers out here doing. I went 3 to 5 so he could never come to work and try to sell these CDs. But what I'm saying to you is, the point of the matter is, do you have enough emotional balance? Do you have enough resolve? Do you have enough fortitude, testicular fortitude, to stand firm when you know everybody else around you is cutthroating you? Let me end with that. If you're going to be successful, get your emotions in check, baby. Get your emotions in check. And at the end of every segment that I'm gonna have, I'm gonna end it with something. You know, one of my most admired people is this guy. His whole life he failed. His whole life he failed at reading, all of that. In school he was terrible. He was the worst. His teachers was concerned. Even all the way up till he got 21, he was just the worst. He couldn't read, couldn't write. He barely could. He had some kind of learning disability, so on and so forth. Right. So what happened was he found his niche, something that he thought that he got into. He thought about it. He thought about it and he got in his niche and he got into the flow of it. So much so, and he was so convinced that it was going to work. He got into his niche, something he liked doing, something that had integrity attached. He got into it so much so that he failed at it 1,994 times. He failed at it 1,900, but he kept going, he kept going, he kept going. And today we look at it. Let me show you what he invented. Let me show you. You see those right there? His name was Thomas Edison, the guy with the light bulb. And if you're going to be successful, you got to keep going, baby. But make sure you're thinking it through, and not because you feel good about it. Man, I love you. Let me tell you something. I done been through it all. And your boy ain't gonna tell you something that's gonna make you fail. I'm only gonna tell you, let me be an example of how to work a business, but yet fail at it. You fail it. They say 80% of the businesses go out of business. 80% of all businesses go out of businesses within the first 6 months. Know that. Man, we'll pick it up probably. Let's start it. Let's do something during the middle of the week. I got to work on this sermon. But your boy done failed at everything. I done been through it all. But yet I'm still standing. The same way with you. You've been through a lot. But by you just having breath in your body, and you're able to listen to this, means that something great is going to happen to you. Something great is going to happen for you. And God is going to overflow. Your 2017 has already began. It's 2016 December. God doesn't wait for it to happen. He makes it happen right now. It's already in transition. All you have to do is what? Get ready. Have your cup waiting. And he's going to overflow. That's right, Janine. He's going to overflow. Whatever the situation is, it's nothing too hard that he can't get you out of. It's nothing. Even if you think you ain't got nothing, remember what we talked about? Don't look at the car that you don't have. Don't look at the finances that you don't have. Those are what? Transitory. They come and they go. Your point of reference of your success is the fact that you're breathing. You get that? Your point of reference on whether you have purpose, on whether you're successful, your point of reference is not in a car, it's not in a house, it's not in money, it's none of that. Because they come and go. Your point of success that God is still going to bless you is the fact that you're breathing. Woo! Can you breathe with me? Woo! Something amazing is going to happen to you. Breathe in, breathe out.